What's up guys, welcome back, and in this video I'd like to style our registration and login pages. So a few videos ago we gave our users the ability to register and log in if they wanted to, but I never styled the pages. Here's how it looks. Here's the sign up page, and I actually did the design for it, and here it is. And here's the register page. So we'll go ahead and style it with CSS, and I'll base it loosely on this. It won't be exact, but it'll be very close to it. So first thing I want to do is just run my watcher. Let's go to the page and let's start. So I'm using CSS grid here, so we'll make use of CSS grid for these two columns. And I don't think it's exactly half. Let's see. Okay, my grid is a bit off, so it looks like half, so we'll just use half. Okay, into my code, and this is the page for it. I'll leave this in here because we're going to copy some of the forms and some of the input fields. So I'll just start it here, and I'll make a new div with a class of auth pages. Let me just see how this looks. Okay, cool. Okay, so what's first? We want to make two columns using CSS grid. Okay. So let's first make a new SAS file. Let's go in here, right here. Let's make a new one for, let's call it auth. And let's also put that in here, right here. So, put it for auth. Save that. And we're good. All right. So, auth pages. Let's give it a margin on the top and bottom. As you can see, there is a pretty big margin here. So we'll give it 100 pixels. We'll use display grid for CSS grid. And like I said, we'll split it in two columns. So we'll just do one FR, one FR. And let's give it just a grid gap. And let me just put two items in here. And let's put another one just so we see if the columns work. Okay, it does. Let's take a look at the design. Let's just start working on this side. Okay. So let's just, I'm going to put a class on these. I'm going to name this one auth left, and I'm going to name this one auth right. And let's just put a heading. Start off, and it says returning customers. Customer. See how it looks. Okay. And let's start putting the form in there. It's going to put a spacer in here, which is just a spacing utility I have. And let's put the login form. The action is login, and the method is post. And we need a CSRF field. And let's begin styling. We have labels in our original form, but if you look at the design, there are no labels. It's just placeholders. So let's go ahead and do that. So a normal input field, actually it's an email. Let's give it an ID and let's give it a name. Value equals old email. Let's give it a placeholder of email. And let's make it required and autofocus. Let me just add another one for the password. Password and password. All right. Okay. Now for this part, I want to use Flexbox, and I'm going to justify content. So this is on the left and this is on the right. So I'm going to have a container. Let's call it login container. And the first flex, this is going to be flex, like I said. First flex item is going to be the button. And let's give it a class of auth button and login. And the next flex item is going to be the label, the checkbox. I think I already have it down here. Yeah, so let's just copy this and put it here. Okay, and after that, there's going to be this forgot password. So let's add that. After this container, let's just do this. Actually, the link is password.request. And it's going to do forgot your password. Okay, it's looking great. Okay, let's start styling. Let me see if I can do like a half screen. Not sure if this is going to work. Just so you guys can see. Maybe a bit less. Okay. So let's style the input boxes. So border 1 pixel solid, and I think in my variables I have a light gray, so we'll make use of this one, text color light. I know it's for the text, but whatever, it's cool. I'm gonna give it some padding, 16 and 10. We're gonna give it a border radius of 5 pixels. We're gonna give it a full width. We're gonna give it a slightly bigger font size, 14 pixels. And we're gonna give it a margin bottom of 30. See how that looks? Okay, cool. Looks good. Now for the checkbox. That kind of messed up the styling on the checkbox because a checkbox is an input as well, so let's target that. Let's just give it a width of auto, and that should fix that. Cool. Now for the login container. Like I said, we're going to use Flexbox. And we're going to align items center, and we're going to justify content space between. That should align these two. Looks good, looks good. And now let's style the actual button. So auth button. Let's move this up. And we'll give a background of, let's check my variables. Just use this one, the text color. You know, it's probably not a good idea to use the text color, but it's okay. Color, I have a white variable that's not completely white. Border radius 5 pixels again. Padding of 12 pixels, 50 pixels. And let's also give it a hover state. And it's going to lighten that background a bit. 10%. See how that looks? Okay, it looks good. Hover works. And let's just put some space in between here. I'll just put the spacer utility underneath the login. Or underneath this, yeah. Okay, let me see how it looks full width. Okay, it's looking good. So let's look at our design here. As you can see, there's some space here, and this space and this space looks like it's the same, or it should be the same. So I'm going to put a larger grid gap. So back here, where I did the display grid, I'm going to make this 100 pixels. So that this is bigger, and then we'll give this right side a padding of, or a margin of 100 pixels on the left to match that. But we also have this line separator, so this will belong to the right side, this side. So back to my code, let's work on that right side. So I'm gonna do a section called auth right, and I'm gonna give it a border left of 1 pixel solid, and I have a separator color here. Separator color, and I'm gonna give it a padding left of 100. And let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's just start filling in the content on this side, which is just text and a few buttons. Cool. Over here, let's go down and let's start this. So it should be new customer, let's put a spacer, and we have this save time now. I'm going to do P and then I'll do strong tag. Save time now. And then it says you don't need an account to check out. Give it a nice another spacer. And then we have this sort of hollow button. So I'm going to make a anchor tag, and it goes to, I think the route name is called guest checkout dot index, and then I'm going to give it a class too. Let's call it auth button hollow. And that one is continue as guest. Oops. Continue as, Sorry, you can't spell. As guessed. Okay, see how it looks. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let's keep going. Put a design in the background. And it's the same thing here. Let's have a spacer again. And let's copy this one. It's going to be save time later. Create an account for fast checkout and easy access to order history. And then another spacer, and then another hollow button. So this. The route is register, and this is going to be called create account. Alright, see how it looks. It's looking good to me. All we have to do is style this button. Okay. Into our CSS. Alright, let's go ahead and style that Auth button hollow. I'm being kind of lazy here. I should be more general because Auth button and Auth button hollow sort of have some similar characteristics. And I actually have another button within the app that's styled very similarly. I'm just redoing everything because I am being a bad developer. Background white. Color is the text color. Border radius is 5 pixels. Let me just move this up. Border 1 pixel, solid text color, and the padding is 12 pixels and 50 pixels. And I'm also going to give it a hover state. Hover. Background is text color, and the color is white. This white. There we go. That looks pretty good. Does it go to the right page? It does. Does this go to the correct page? Okay, it does. And does this work? Not sure if I have a user in here. I don't think I do. Okay, I do. Let me just log out for a sec. And we have to put the error messages in here. Because, yeah, there's the error message for our other form, but we don't have it for this one. So let's just grab it from another view we have. I think I have it here. And let me just grab the errors right here. And let's just put it in here somewhere. Yeah, right here is good. See if that works. There, that looks good to me. And now we can get rid of this form, since we have ours complete. Yeah, don't need any of this. Where does that row end? There it is. And yeah, that looks good. Cool. I sort of want this to be on the bottom if there's not enough content. So let's just make a small change here. So here we can do like a minimum height of like something like 60, the viewport height, and that should push it down when there's not enough content. Yeah, so that looks good to me. I feel like there needs to be more space here, so let's put another spacer in there. right here. Let's put another one. I don't think this is gonna work. I think I need to put like, yeah, I need to put like a non-breaking space and be SP for this to work. And there you go. Okay, that looks better. So we have more separation between these two sections. Okay, now let's make it responsive. It's not very difficult, just a few lines of code. I'm just going to make it small, and I just want to stack. So I just want these two to stack, and we'll work on that. So I have a SAS file called responsive, and I'm just going to grab this because we're going to be changing that. And the breakpoint I'm mainly using is this one. So let's put at the bottom of this, wherever the bottom is, right here. Alright, so let's not make the margin so big when it's in mobile. So 50. Let's change the grid template columns to 1 so it stacks. And let's change the grid gap to something smaller. See how that works. And that looks good. And we can just get rid of there's actually a border here, you probably can't see it. And let's get rid of some of the padding for that right side. So auth right, border left, none, and padding left 20. Did that not work? Oops. Dot. There you go. And yeah, that's basically it. Now we have other pages too. We have the register page, but if you look at my design, it's pretty much the same layout. It's just more form fields, and this is just text. So I'm not going to bother doing that because it's basically the same. There's also the forgot password, and I'm just going to follow the same layout. So I'll do that behind the scenes. You can check it out in the code if you like. Now if you see my last video, you'll know I'm a huge fan of Tailwind, which is a utility first framework for rapid UI development. And I'm really in that mindset of writing utilities for my CSS, at least these days. And it gets rid of a lot of the problems that I encountered. Not really problems, but like bad practices with inconsistencies and things like that. So definitely give that video a look and check out Tailwind if you're interested. I'm not doing it for this project because I already worked on the CSS before Tailwind came out, and I feel like mixing it would just be kind of confusing for some of you guys out there. So there you have it, guys. We've managed to style our application to give it a more consistent look. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.